Welcome to the Everyday Comfort Podcast, where we help homeowners make smart decisions and save money, and guide contractors on building trust, growing their business, and delivering real value. Let's dive into the show.
Hi, I'm Chad Franz, and today I am your host for Everyday Comfort, the podcast built to serve both homeowners and home service contractors. Whether you're a contractor looking to grow your business or a homeowner hoping to avoid costly surprises, we dive into real stories, practical tips, and smart strategies to help you succeed and stay comfortable every day. This episode is brought to you by Trust One, your reliable plumbing and HVAC contractor in Quincy, Massachusetts. Our goal is to provide premier customer service that instills our customers with trust, confidence, and a unique experience. Trust One strives to be the most recognized and recommended heating, cooling, and plumbing company in the South Shores. To learn more about us and get in touch, visit trustoneservices.com. My guest today is Hector Waldo, the Chief Marketing Officer for Trust One. Hector has been involved with marketing for 15 years and has been marketing plumbing and HVAC companies for the past 6. Hector, it's great to talk to you today. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good. How are you doing, Chad?
Good, thanks. Hey, tell me, when you're doing marketing for a business like Trust One, plumbing and HVAC, how do you kind of balance the day-to-day marketing execution with maybe a long-term vision that you might have for them?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question, right? So the way we do it, right, and the way we pivot is we look at what's currently being ran in the month. So say we have an X amount of technicians. What do we need day to day to fill their boards up, to fill the counters, to be able to make the company more profitable, right? Then from there, we're able to build that and create this marketing machine, is the way I call it, create the marketing machine, and not just be able to look at day to day, week to week, month over month. But then you start building your marketing plan for 2026, the upcoming years, with what you're seeing results that are happening in that day or that previous month, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's how you're able to build everything from today to the future.
So marketing involves, a few different types of thought processes. What does your kind of role look like on a typical day? Maybe from like managing a team or creative direction or campaign oversight. What does one day look like for you?
Yeah, so I mean, my day honestly starts with looking at the data. I'm very data driven. We all know that numbers is the best way to look at things. And so I look at, okay, what's my cost per lead right now, per medium? Look at the Google PPC campaigns, the Meta campaigns, TikTok, YouTube campaigns, you name it, right? We look at every single campaign to see, okay, what's it costing me to get a lead, and what's also costing me to book the lead, because I want to know those two different figures. Because then that allows me to see I can add more fuel to what's working, and I can decrease on what's not working, and take that budget and allocate it to something else that I know is going to give me more bookings, because my cost per book job is where I want it to be at. And so that's the first thing I do is look at the data and make those decisions from the beginning of the day.
Hey, Hector, we're joined now by Anthony Mound, the CEO and founder of Trust One, and he's got a few questions for you.
Perfect.
Hey, Hector, how's it going?
Pretty good. What's up, Anthony? How you doing?
Good. You guys are talking about the marketing subject, right?
Yes, sir.
How do you determine what marketing channels, Google Ads, LSA, SEO, direct mail, radio, or social, will deliver the best ROI for your market?
Yeah, so what we look at on a daily basis is, what's the cost per lead? What's the cost for booked appointments? And then also what's the revenue, the return on ad spend that we're getting, right? And so if I'm seeing like my cost per lead be really high, then that means that my cost for booked appointments is probably going to be high as well. And my returns aren't going to be as great as it should be. And so what can we do to be able to, make sure those go into the areas that we want it to be and the pricing we want to be at? And then that's how we would determine what's profitable and what's actually doing some good for the company, and start making adjustments as needed.
Okay, and then as far as like tracking goes, like what KPIs besides, cost per lead matter when you're evaluating the performance of your marketing team or the campaigns?
So it would be, a lot with, of course, with revenue, right? So if the guys on the field are telling us, hey, we're getting these leads, we're getting a ton of like declines, and okay, let's look into the campaigns, let's make sure we have the correct targeting areas going on, and at the same time, how much revenue have they produced? Is it, is the return above a 6x, a 5x? If it is, then that's, it's time it's a good campaign. If it's below a 4x, then hey, there's something wrong. Let's do something about it really quick to fix it. And if it doesn't get fixed, and it doesn't turn around, let's pull that budget and add it to where we know it's working. and start, making the company more money and getting more calls for the company.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I've noticed definitely like the skyrocketed marketing costs, like everything is more expensive.
Yeah.
Like, maybe a few years ago, would you have like guessed that, I mean, a 5x would be acceptable? Because I remember a few years ago, I'm like, if it's not a 10x, it doesn't count. Like, get rid of it.
Yeah.
You say times have definitely changed when it comes to that, or?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, back in the day, you were getting CPLs of $10, $13, depending on what mediums you're in, right? Now you're seeing CPLs of, 60, $70, almost six times more than what it was. And so that return, of course, is you're not going to have a 10x. Now, there's going to be mediums, don't get me wrong, there's going to be mediums that are 10x and they're just absolutely crushing it. But, if it's below 10x, it's now more acceptable to have it around that range. And in my perspective, I don't want to have it below 5 or 4x.
Yeah, that's kind of what me and you work through.
100%.
Yeah. How do you like adapt your marketing strategy to like seasonality, that's unique to the plumbing and HVAC industry, kind of in the
Yeah,
Boston area?
yeah. So I think a huge thing is, especially during the shoulder season, when people say it, right? Depending on where you live, but like in Boston, it gets a little bit colder, and so your plumbing costs, kind of increase. Your furnace costs kind of increase too. But when it is slow, you have to really market yourself. You have to create value in the company. And so there's a few things you can do. You can throw a promotion out there that's just so ridiculous that people are going to be like, I'm going to click it, I'm going to get it. Or you can do some type of like a free, say, for example, you do a free furnace, right? Every free furnace, you get a fuel filter or something free to be able to incentivize a customer to book with
Mm,
you and be able to get you in the door. Because once you're in the door, then you're Anthony, like your sales teams are freaking beasts, right? So once they get in the
yeah.
door, depending on what's going on, like if it's a repair, then they repair, right? If it's a maintenance, they get the maintenance done and call it good. But like if it's an estimate, they're going to go to the customers, hey, this is why you need it. This is what's going on. This is the benefits of getting a new estimate. And then you'll be able to switch it up depending on what's going on.
Yeah, it's like, when it's demand season, things are broken, people are calling. When it's not demand season, they like don't want to spend money, they're not looking for that service. So you
Yep,
really have to like pull them in and kind of create demand. So, creative offer,
100%.
something like that. Okay. You know what, and we talk about this all the time because you have tons of clients from all over the US. What makes Quincy in the greater Boston market unique when it comes to customer expectations and like service-based marketing?
Anthony, I'll be honest with you, it's a good market. It's a hard market.
Yeah.
But that's what makes our jobs a little bit fun in my case, because it's like how can we get this rolling, right? We're always constantly talking about, okay, hey Anthony, I saw this pop up on my social media. We should try this. Let's give this a go and be able to try it. But I think at the end of the day is you have this customer database, right? We're trying to grow the database. Let's start with rehashing our database. Hey, we were out there 6 months ago. Is there something we could do for you now? Is there something we did HVAC? Hey, we also do plumbing. I'm not sure if you knew this, right? We also do plumbing. We're offering $50 off any repairs through our existing customer database, and so we're just always thinking of how we can help the customer, and be able to be top of mind, of course.
Yeah. We definitely try to be that for sure. How do you position kind of your brand? We talk about this too. Like, how do you position your brand to stand out against both like, local smaller companies and then like large companies?
And I think you are in a very unique spot because you have a great name. Trust One Services, I think immediately people are like, oh, Trust One, like trust. And so it builds this automatic, connection with their brain. Like, okay, if their name is Trust One, I can probably trust them because I know they're going to do a great job. And so you have great reviews. You always have great customer feedback. You're delivering what you're saying you're going to deliver. And I think at that point,
Right.
you just make yourself, you position yourself into a spot where you are the HVAC, you are the plumbing guy that people want to have. And so if you're always customer first, right? It's at the end of the day, your customer needs to come first.
Yeah, and do you think, like in order to do those things, you have to be able to you have to charge money, right? And it doesn't come
Mhm.
cheap. And so it's hard to have a good marketing budget, but also provide a good service and being a cheap price. So it's kind of, for the guys out there that can't afford marketing, I hate to say it, but maybe increase your prices. And that would be and offer a better service because you really got to want to make sure you take care of the customers, like you said, Hector.
100%. Because at the end of the day, if you take care of the customers, what's going to happen? They're going to tell their friend. They're going to tell their friend, and so now
Yeah,
you're starting to build the referral program with your customer database.
for sure. As far as, we kind of talk about this as well, but when it comes to like a tech stack, like what do you rely on for call tracking, service platforms, marketing automation tools, kind of CRMs?
Yeah, so of course, you have your call tracking. You want to make sure that every medium is being tracked with calls coming in. And so if it's a call from Google My Business Profile, I want to make sure it's GBP. So it can be call rail, it can be call tracking metrics, it can be service side and track that. Something, this is a little tip for everyone out there, right? Is if you don't know what UTM parameters are, that's basically just at the end of the URL, you had like, for example, trustoneservices.com, right? Slash UTM that allows you to be able to really know where your traffic is coming from. And so that's another huge part is knowing traffic, where it's coming from. That way we can add money to what, it's bringing traffic in. The other great thing is a lot of people don't know this. There's a software called Go High Level. It houses all your leads into one system, in one
Mm,
CRM, where you can pull all your forms from Meta, from YouTube, from TikTok, go into one system. You set up your automations with the AI, and you have a team that can go in there and start reaching out to manually they don't answer. And so none of your leads are lost. You have them centralized into one system. So there's a few out there, right? But I would say those are
yeah.
kind of like the main ones we use.
Yeah, that and like Hatch. I'm a big fan of Hatch.
Hatch is another big one. Yep, that's a huge one. I mean, that's great for like these third party aggregators like Angie, Thumbtack. That works. Like that works amazing for that.
Yeah. Thank you for that. How do you align marketing with sales and operations so that text, dispatch, and customer service are all like rowing in the same direction?
Yeah, I think this is a huge thing that me and you, Anthony, do a lot. Is we actually talk about your operations. We actually talk about your sales because I've seen a lot happen where marketing and sales and operations do not communicate, and so marketing is doing something, and then your sales guys don't know what promotions are going on,
Yeah.
and so they're kind
Yeah.
of lost. And so we're always brainstorming to come up with those promotions and just push it to the entire company. That way, everyone's on the same page. But at the end of the day, what that does, it helps not only your marketing, but your sales if they're working
Right.
together. Because if they're aligned, then you can create this great machine of just, profitability if we're just killing it together.
Right. Yeah. Do you ever have like clients that have come to you and been like, my marketing's not working and they have other things broken and they're blaming you?
100%. That happens all the time.
Yeah. Sadly, I used to be that guy. I'm like, oh, you don't know, like, it's not working. Marketing's not working. And then like, they'd be like, yeah, it is. And I'm like, well, I guess I didn't even track any of it. Like, the guys are like, what's your booking rate or what's your conversion rate? What's
Like,
your
oh, Lord.
cancellation rate? And you're like, oh, I didn't even know that was a thing. But like, oh, so the person that
Exactly.
answers your phones isn't booking all the calls that you have come in, and you're blaming me for not giving you calls?
100%. Dude. It happens all the time. You'd be surprised. And like it's not like and I tell this to everyone, right? It's not their fault. Like I totally
No.
understand. Like, these operators, you guys are constantly day to day, hey, sales, operations, HR, you guys wear all the hats.
Right.
And so it's totally understandable when you come into a business and it's like that. And it's like, how can we make it better for you? How can we put everything, in order that that way you don't have to worry about it and just worry on the good stuff, operations and sales.
Yeah, I try to like help people as much as I can because I've been through the ringer with marketing companies and I've been in the same shoe.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, they're like, oh, what marketing campaigns work? And I'm like, well, first off, let's set up your tracking. Like, let's make sure you have tracking numbers, you have UTMs, you have dedicated phone numbers for every single campaign you have. Like, first, once you have the tracking, then you need to track your conversion rate. What's your booking rate? What's your tech conversion rate? What is your sales conversion rate? What is your cancellation rate? There's many like metrics you have to track before we can even get to what's working and what's not working.
100%, 100%.
Um, what? Oh, I know you're gonna love this question, Hector, for sure. I know we got to start doing this more often. We do a lot already, but what role does community involvement or local partnerships play in your marketing strategy?
Oh man, I do love this question.
This is your favorite one.
It's our favorite one. I would say get in it as soon as you can. And the reason I say that is because it's basically more, it works as your organic traffic as well. And so
Mm,
we have the digital organic search traffic, right? But then you also have the traditional, which is going to be your I call it grassroots, so community involvement. And what that does is, you can go to an event for say $200 for the event, but you're getting like 500 to 1,000 eyeballs on you on just that one day. And
yeah.
say you get, 5, 10 of those leads at your CPL is like $5, $6 per lead. And so it just makes perfect sense to get involved as much as you can. Go into and not all the events are going to be the greatest, right? But you can go into like different carnivals, like family carnivals, family movie nights are always a great one. Home and garden shows are great to be at. Fairs, just any event that is family oriented is going to be the best type of event to go to.
Yeah, and then you probably want to do something just like when it's slow, like t some type of offer
Yeah,
to get in the home, just like to show the customer that you like are a good company and are going to do a good job for them.
100%, 100%. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and then we talk about kind of the future here, Hector. Like looking ahead, like what trends do you believe will shape the future of marketing for home services companies in like the next 3 to 5 years?
So I definitely think something that I've been, kind of studying on about a lot is, of course, we all know this AI is going to be a huge
Yeah.
thing, right? And so how can we implement that into the HVAC world? There's a few different things. Um, we're seeing, like, for example, FAQs, so frequently asked questions that you have on your site. It's something that AI can come in and help you organically rank more if you have a good amount of those and actually good questions, and then you can actually
Oh,
pivot that into your Google ads. You can pivot that into your organic videos, into your organic content, and be able to push that a little bit further. And so I think that's going to be a huge play, especially when you have that that AI overview on Google search, and you search anything now, it tells you AI overview, and then it gives you a
yeah.
list of all the answers. That's where you want to be. And so it's how do we get there, right? And so I think that's going to be like ChatGPT, Reddit as a big component of that. I think that's going to be the play there. And then I think just really coming up with the next big thing, next big lead gen,
Mm.
and to be able to get into that space.
Yeah, it's super helpful. Kind of leading into that. You think marketing companies are like gonna go away? You think it's just gonna be like go online, search for this?
I've thought about that, and I think some marketing companies, if they don't step it up, yes, they will go away.
Yeah.
And it's just because it's starting to become a lot easier to find people without having to spend money.
Mm.
And that's more of like the organic footprint, AI footprint. And so I think if a business gets in there pretty early, I think they can make a huge impact in the next couple of years for their business.
And as far as like, I mean, I was going over this metric earlier and like we go over phone objections, like when people call and what is the reason why we didn't book the call? And we're getting more and more like phone, hey, I want a price. I want to know what it's going to cost. Like, do you think the market's going to go that way where everything's going to be like online price, click to book online? Like, you think phone calls are just going to be like less and less?
I mean, I honestly think CSR rooms are going to go bye-bye eventually.
Yeah.
I think it's all going to be taken by AI, and chat widgets on the website. My online pricing tool, stuff like that. I think that's going to bump up a ton. Because I mean, think about it. Like for example, me, when I search something, I honestly don't want to talk to someone on the phone.
Mm.
Text me or chat with me. I'll get my answer there quicker than talking to someone on the phone. But that's just me, right? That can be my generation, right?
I,
But
I'm the same way as you. Like I get solicitations all day long from emails and I'm
yeah,
like, listen, like I'll give you a shot because I'll be nice, but like give me an overview of your product and tell me how much it's going to cost. And if I have
yes,
questions, I'll ask you. Like
yep,
give me a video overview. Let me like do some research on your product and see if it's useful to me, but don't shove it down my throat because I'll just tell you no. I'm like,
yeah. Don't waste my time. Just
like literally,
get to
I
it really quick.
I'm so busy. Like, let me know what your product is. Give me an overview of it. Tell me what it's going to cost. I'll do my research and I'll tell you if I don't want it or
Yep,
if I
yep,
do.
yep.
But I can make that
Exactly.
decision. You don't need to hard sell me on it
100%.
or try to hard sell me on it because I'll just
Yeah.
tell you no. But yeah, do you have anything else you want to share, Hector, as far as like, marketing or any any of your background or anything like that?
I mean, I would say like right now, to do little tips out there too, for everyone is I am seeing a huge increase in email marketing.
Email.
And that's something I was going to talk to you, Anthony, is we're seeing great
Interesting.
success with open rates, people clicking on it. And I think it goes back into people don't want to be called.
Right.
Is, send them an email, send them a text message.
Huh.
And so I'm seeing a little increase there. And so try to get into the email game, make it, creative. You have to have some good creative, some, enticing offers, right? To be able to get that open rate there. And then from there, just create a quick landing page, boom, 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 form fill, come into your CRM, schedule them, and go out there and get the job done. And so I think that's going to be a good play right now in the next couple months.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because we have a newsletter that we send out monthly to our customers, and it has like spotlights of technicians, like food recipes, like local events in the area, like different bits of information, and like customers love it. They're like,
Yeah,
and it's not a sales tool. Like I'm not trying to sit there trying to sell my customer. I'm like, hey, here's some cool information. Here's some updates about Trust One. We're here if you need us. Kind of like a
yeah,
friendly reminder.
yeah,
And
yeah, 100%.
people love it. But that's a very interesting fact,
Yeah.
huh?
And
Going
and then
back.
and then the cool thing too is like, for example, we talk about community events, right? Is on these emails you can be like, hey, we're gonna be this weekend, this Friday, this Saturday, we're gonna be at the Home and Garden show. We're doing a raffle if you guys want to come and join us, right? And so now you're gonna be helping the community out, knowing where you're at. People can see you more, they can tell their friends, hey, Trust One's gonna be there doing a raffle. And so you start spreading the word out more with these emails.
Yeah.
And like me, what's the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning? Of course, I do my stuff, right? But then is
Check your email. Yeah,
check my
yeah.
emails. I check my emails
Yeah. Yeah.
because I want to know who emailed me. And so, yeah, I think it's
Awesome.
coming up, and so I think we can do a good thing there.
Well, awesome. Thank you for your time today, Hector, and I appreciate all you answering all these questions and
Yeah, of course.
look forward to speaking to you later on.
Awesome, guys. Thank you, guys.
Thanks so
Thank
much,
you.
Anthony. So long, everybody.
Thanks for listening to the Everyday Comfort Podcast. We'll see you again next time, and be sure to click subscribe to get future episodes.
I bring pressure.